evening, ladies and gentlemen, and a warm welcome to each and every one of you. Welcome to the Apollo CV Awards. We've got a wonderful evening lined up for each and every one of you, and we really look forward to having you here with us today. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to move on to our panel discussion for today.
I will quickly like to touch upon GST. What is the feedback from the transporters? How well are they taking it? Any initial feel of behavioral changes that we are seeing? Any highlights that you want to talk about? Girish, I'll start with you.
I think as far as GST is concerned, we knew that there was the destocking which was happening in the first quarter, and then we started the stocking up from the quarter two. And therefore, for that period, we had a reduction in demand. We also had few vehicles off the road for some amount of time. But after that, we've seen that there have been some fundamental reasons which have been leading to demand, and therefore we have been seeing good amount of demand happening across the industry, apart from the passenger vehicle one. As far as the feedback from the transporters is concerned, I think it has been quite okay, if I may say so. Initially, they were also having some amount of apprehensions in their mind as to how the industry will pan out. But post the destocking and stocking up hiccup was through, I think the business is back, and it's back to usual, and in fact it has been growing very well this year.
Mr. Muller, I would like to get your views on how the transporters are seeing the changes on the ground.
I think we certainly had some headwinds immediately after the GST got implemented. There was pain with the customers, fleet owners, parts distributors, parts retailers, even our vehicle dealers. The good news is that I think most of that pain is behind us. What the GST in particular has kind of triggered off a change is in terms of the way that the logistics and the CNF distribution agencies, as I would call it, that's going through a massive change. Added with that, the so-called infrastructure that is growing at a very, very fantastic pace is triggering off a complete transformation in terms of the way that goods are being carried. So we're quite happy that the happy days or the good days of the 2011s and 12s are back. Talking about the other aspect in terms of what happens to customers. Now the BS4 obviously has been quite a disruptor for a lot of disruption for a lot of truckers, so to speak. First of all, the prices itself, getting used to it, and the technology. I think the technology is in a way good news for automotive dealers who have been struggling for business over the last 4 years. And also thanks to the fact that the oil drain intervals have gone up, lesser and lesser vehicles are coming to the workshop. So the good news is that as the technology gets more complicated or more sophisticated, now BS4 and then going forward in BS6, we would certainly believe that more trucks will come into the dealerships, and we would imagine that it is good news for vehicle dealers, and they will get good service. So going back to the roadside, I think it's going to be, I mean, we can't wish it away. We are in India, right? So anything can happen, but then we do believe that it's good news for the automotive segment in general.
Eric, just to wrap up on the GST part of it, has the 13%, 14%, 15% increase in sales in the last 8-9 months a positive surprise? Did you expect this to happen?
No, actually, I didn't perceive this as a surprise. BS4 introduction was, let's say, people got maybe nervous at the beginning, not knowing what happens to new technology. But after some months, everybody understood this is rock solid technology, at least this is what we experience. So we don't see any technician or we don't see any customer struggling with this technology. It's highly appreciated in the meanwhile because it's really a proven technology. GST implementation later on, for me this was something where I would say I would have appreciated a better communication from the government or earlier communication of the rates, because nobody really was sure which GST rate will come for the truck business, and this held back some customers at the beginning. Everybody expected after GST implementation maybe the market will come down. However, this backlog, these old vehicles which need to be replaced, this replacement demands is much bigger than the utilization of the trucks. But what is quite fascinating in connection with GST implementation is one thing. The utilization of a truck, in average in the past, the utilization or usage of a truck was 80,000 kilometers per year. Now we see 200,000. What I also see, more and more international fleets entering India, We get huge orders from international fleets, which I haven't seen in the past.
I would like to move on to what I think the industry is going to face for the future, which clearly is the BS6. And we know that I would like to start off with you, is that we're going to have BS6. So where are we heading towards in terms of the commercial vehicle industry?
So Ramki, that's actually the big question staring all of us. Having said that, when it comes to commercial vehicle industry, the way I see, and I would say a lot of people, including our customers whom we have spoken to, today the most part of the fleet is on diesel.
Right.
And that's definitely going to change. There will be a good percentage of vehicle which will probably come as alternate fuel, and some will come on electric. But I would personally like to believe that in the foreseeable future of next several years, I will not say couple, the big part of fleet as far as heavy trucks is concerned will remain diesel, and BS6 is a good clean technology. Having said that, we will always have a mix when it comes to applications like small commercial vehicles, application like intra-city applications of light commercial vehicle or buses, which will probably go more towards electrification, and that also will be legislation-led more than customers going on their own, because the big difference between a passenger car and a commercial vehicle is that at the end of the day, it has to make money for the operator, and someone has to pay for the higher operating cost if he has to incur.
One of the reasons why this becomes important is that there is a large number of component suppliers sitting out here. They may not all be from the powertrain standpoint, which will have a direct impact, but many of them are seriously concerned as to what is the roadmap that OEMs themselves will look at for a powertrain for the future. How different is this for the buses segment?
Today is very much regulation driven. We have Euro 6 or BS6, and then move on to electromobility. I think we still live in the era where you offer what you offer and then someone else has to take without really kind of linking any value add coming along with it.
Right.
So then I come back to the more moot point. Technology roadmap essentially will drive performance on the road. And that performance will come on the way, let's say, people travel or goods move, how energy efficiency works, safety, and also then probably other areas of connected services we've seen. This will drive costs up in a certain way. But what is happening is we are not allowing the developing ecosystem to have the right scale and standardization to actually offer value in terms of cost. Not going too much into the detail, I think a very important point is whether it's BS6 or electric vehicles. If you put 1,000 vehicles, nothing is going to change on the roads. You need to get, so to speak, the old vehicles out. That helps in industries to find reason or leverage to invest.
Absolutely. So Somasundram, I will come to you from a standpoint of a higher tonnage vehicle segment. So where do you see from a technology readiness standpoint, but from an Indian market condition standpoint and a consumer condition standpoint, will electrification happen?
The investments, I think, will still continue going into BS6 for the next 3-4 years. I think by that time, hopefully, the market will start giving us, and the regulations will start giving us the roadmap on how do we have to invest on the electrification. As rightly said, the ecosystem is going to be the biggest challenge. I think even today it is a challenge in the countries outside the world, or across the world, where outside India, where I think electrification has started long time back, but still they are finding it difficult to bring the ecosystem to that level. So for us, having known that our ecosystem takes time to adapt, and everything has to be economy based. It cannot be just like that, bring a system there and then see that now you enforce it, it's not going to come in there. So next 3-4 years, I think all of us have to be investing on seeing that how do we get the best of the technology for BS6, because the life cycle is going to be pretty long.
Right.
It's not like BS4, which was 4 years.
Are we really looking out beyond 2030 for anything to happen on the ground level? Girish?
I think as an OEM, we always have to be prepared for that. Technology has to kind of meet some basic thresholds.
Right.
The first threshold, which was also said in the panel, was it should make business sense in the commercial vehicle industry. Right? So when we moved from BS3 to BS4, it was pushed by regulation.
Right.
I think so when we move to BS6, first the challenge for the industry is how are we going to ensure that it makes business sense for the customer?
Right.
Right? So while the government is mandating it as a regulation, we have to do it, but we have to find out a way that as a package, still the vehicle makes commercial sense for the customer.
Right.
The second challenge will be then, how does it make business sense for the OEMs? The third thing, you spoke about, are you going to be prepared for every technology? So we can't afford to do that.
Right.
Now, as far as electrification is concerned, we have two challenges. One is, of course, economic sense for the customer. And in the electric bus tenders which have come out, I think right now the economic sense for the customer is getting addressed to the FAME phase 1 incentive.
Right.
Right? But at the same time, we know the rate at which the prices of batteries and other electrical components are coming down, and I think I'm sure we will cross that threshold one day for the customer.
Right.
So from that perspective, the business sense for customer is getting addressed. For business sense for OEM, I think we need volumes.
Right.
Because there's no supply chain, there's no backward integration yet in our country. And I think I'm sure the government is looking at how do we support even the backward integration there. So I think there are a lot of challenges, and we have to meet those challenges. And being in commercial vehicle industry, the first threshold that we have to keep in mind is whether this makes commercial sense for the customer, otherwise they will not adopt.
Understood. Understood. Mr. Nazilov, just to look from a timeline standpoint, we have Europe ahead out here right now in terms of technology development, conceptualization, having some level of on-road testing and usage, and we have India, right? So how are we progressing on these timelines?
We are far away. I don't see a master plan, but I believe we have incredible, capable people here. We only have to align these people. We have to bring these people together as one team, where we really set up something like a master plan for electrification. As of now, I don't see any battery fabric which is upcoming. I don't see anybody really working on taking the lead, but the capability is in India. We have to unleash this potential. And if we unleash this potential, then we will not depend on China. China is at the moment keen to be the front runner in electrification. We have to be aware that we will have much more cycles in the future. Maybe every 5 years, we have major new technology which are upcoming. And this is why we need here really to have think tanks which develop new technology. If it's an alternative fuel, if it's a new kind of drivetrain, all these things. Nobody should believe that he can enjoy one technology and ride on this technology for 10 to 15 years. This time is over. It's too international. We come under pressure. After 5 years, you have to gain your cash back, otherwise it's too late.
We're very happy to state that this celebration of the CV industry has turned 9. May we please invite onto the stage Mr. Ho-Shung Bilimoria, CEO, Next Gen Publishing Limited.
Welcome to the 9th CV Awards, which NextGen has been conducting since inception with our loyal partner, Apollo Tyres. 2017, admittedly, was a challenging year for the CV industry. Effects of demonetization, kicking in of BS4 norms, introduction of GST, all acted to make the first 9 months of the year rather difficult. There was some recovery towards the end of the year, but it remains to be seen whether it will carry forward to the whole of 2018, especially with the rise in fuel prices, the kicking in of CAFE norms from April, and the imminent introduction of safety standards. But we do see quiet optimism on the part of most manufacturers. I would now like to invite Mr. Rajesh Dahiya to address us.
Thank you, Mr. Bilimoria. On behalf of Apollo Tyres, it's a privilege and honor to be associated with CV Awards since last 9 years. It is an excellent platform for us to connect with our esteemed OE customers and be part of the commercial vehicle revolution which is happening in this country. Thanks for your support. I'd like to congratulate all the winners for the evening and others who could not win but were worthy contestants. Thank you once again.
Thank you, Mr. Daya. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to call upon Mr. Bhushan Mahapralkar. He is the editor, Commercial Vehicle magazine, as he will come onto the stage and tell us a little bit about this edition of the Apollo CV Awards.
The 2017 calendar year was not exactly a very smooth year for the CV industry. It was quite challenging, and we reflected it through our magazine and through the kind of articles that we did. But when we sent a call out for nominations, the kind of nominations we received, it was about 10 to 12% more nominations on the product side and 12 to 10% more nominations on the fleet side. That was quite a surprise, quite a shock. And it also reflected on the changes that are happening in the CV industry, and something which we as a jury also had a tough time looking at. We had 60 CVs to evaluate this year, and we had, on the fleet side, we had about 742 nominations, which was quite a task. Thank you so much for the support that you've given us, and I'll leave you with an AV, which will give you a glimpse of what exactly we did as a jury.
Happy that this is the 9th year for Apollo CV Awards. The interesting thing is that it sustained the pace year on year, in spite of the industry having a roller coaster ride for the last 9 years.
I would say that it has been more relevant, more strong, more favorable, more unique, and I see that the association is getting stronger day by day.
Apollo CV Awards today is turning out to be one of the industry benchmarks, which is a great thing because it actually gives the opportunity to all the commercial vehicle OEMs to showcase their products.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, on that note, let's begin with our awards. Our first category for this evening is the SCV of the Year. And let's see who the nominees are.
Mahindra Supro Mini Truck, Maruti Suzuki Super Carry, Tata Ace Mega XL.
So to know which proposition the jury favored, may we please invite onto the stage Mr. Dilip Chhabria, founder of DC Design.
The SCV of the Year, Maruti Suzuki Super Carry.
Congratulations. Let's go on to our next category, and this is for Pickup of the Year.
Mahindra Bolero Maxi Truck Plus, Isuzu D-Max S-Cab, Tata Yodha, Ashok Leyland Ghost Plus.
To do the honors, may I invite onto the stage Mr. V.G. Ramakrishnan, Managing Director, Aventum Advisors.
Pickup of the Year, Mahindra Bolero Maxi Truck Plus.
Our next category for this evening is the LCV Cargo Carrier of the Year.
Ashok Leyland Partner, iShare Pro 1055T, Mahindra Optimo HD.
To do the honors, may we please invite onto the stage Mr. Sandeep Mathur, Head OEM and Institutional Business, APMEA, Apollo Tyres.
And the winner is Ashok Leyland Partner.
So let's go on into our next category for this evening, and we are looking at Large Truck Fleet Operator of the Year. Let's have those nominees.
CJ Darsal Logistics Limited, Lalji Mulji Transport Company, Indian Tankers Private Limited.
So could I please request Mr. Girish Wagh, Head Commercial Vehicles, Tata Motors, to come and join us on stage to declare the winner.
So I'm very pleased to announce that the Large Truck Fleet Operator of the Year is CJ Darsal Logistics Limited.
We're going on to our next category for this evening, and this is the Small Fleet Operator of the Year. Let's see who the nominees are.
Sahyadri Logistics Private Limited, BVM Storage Solutions Private Limited, Muskan Logistics.
Could I please request Mr. Shyam Maller, Executive Vice President, Sales, Marketing and Aftermarket Light and Medium Duty Trucks, to come and join us on stage.
Our pleasure in announcing the winner of the Small Fleet Operator of the Year. It's BVM Storage Solutions Private Limited.
Congratulations. Our next category for this year is the HCV Rigid Cargo Carrier of the Year.
Ashok Leyland 3780 Plus, MAN CLA 31300 Evo, iShare Pro 6031, Bharat Benz 2523R, iShare Pro 6037, Bharat Benz 3723R, Mahindra Blazer 37 Pusher Axle, Bharat Benz 3123R.
May I invite onto the stage Mr. Dominic Martin, Head Marketing, Apmea Apollo Tyres.
Well, I think this category had the maximum number of nominations. So probably congratulations to all the people who nominated themselves and to all the good work done behind that. But still, there's only one winner.
Yeah.
And that winner, Bharat Benz 3723R.
Let's go straight into our next category, and we are looking at the HCV Tractor Cargo Carrier of the Year. Let's see who the nominees are.
iShare Pro 8049, MAN CLA 49300 Evo, Bharat Benz 4023T, Tata Signa 4923S, iShare Pro 6040, Bharat Benz 4928T, iShare Pro 5035.
So may I please request Mr. Bhushan Mahapralkar, Editor, Commercial Vehicle Magazine, to come and join us on stage and declare the winner.
And the winner is Tata Signa 4923S.
Congratulations. We're now going to go on to our next category this evening at the Apollo CV Awards, and we are looking at Fleet Operator of the Year niche application.
Coolx Cold Chain Limited, Sheetal Parivahan, Crystal Logistic Cold Chain Limited.
And to do the honors, may I invite onto the stage Mr. Vinod Sahai, CEO, Mahindra Trucks and Buses.
It's my pleasure to announce that the Fleet Operator of the Year niche application is Coolx Cold Chain. Congratulations.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's go on to our next category for this evening, and this is for the ICV People Mover of the Year. Let's take a look at the nominees.
iShare Skyline Pro 3009L AC, iShare Skyline Pro Platform.
So can I invite onto the stage Mr. Kaushik Madhavan, Director, Automotive and Transportation, Frost and Sullivan.
All right, so the winner is iShare Skyline Pro 3009 LAC. Congratulations.
In our next category, we are taking a look at who the nominees are for Promising Debut of the Year. Let's take a look.
MAN CLA 49300 Evo, Maruti Suzuki Super Carry, Force Traveller T2 3350, Bharat-Benz 1623 Bus Platform, Tata Starbus Hybrid, Ashok Leyland Captain 2518.
Two CVs this year are the joint winners. One is a cargo carrier and the other is a people mover. So could I please request Mr. Girish Malia, publisher, Technology Magazine's NGPPL, to come and join me on stage and do the honors.
The two winners are MAN 49300 EVO, and the second winner is Force Traveller T2 3350.
As we move on to our next category for this evening, we are going to be looking at Private Sector Bus Fleet Operator of the Year. Let's have the nominees video.
Conquer Roadways, City Services, MS Arya Trans Solutions Private Limited.
So could I please request Mr. Suresh Chetiyar, Business Head, Volvo Buses South Asia, to come and join us on stage and let us know who the winner is.
Pleased to announce the winner of Private Sector Bus Fleet Operator of the Year, City Services.
Let's move quickly on to our next category for this evening, and we are looking at the LCV People Mover of the Year. Let's have those nominees.
Mahindra Comfio T32, iShare Starline Platform, Force Traveller T2 3350,